Malik was a quiet and kind boy of 12 years. He lived in a small town where everyone knew each other. Malik loved school and playing with his friends after classes. He was smart and polite, always ready to help others, even though he was well-liked. By many, there were some boys who did not treat him well. Two boys, Jake and Ryan, were often mean to Malik. They liked to tease him and say unkind things. Malik tried to ignore them most of the time because he did not want trouble. But sometimes their bullying made him feel sad and scared. One sunny afternoon, Malik finished his school early. The day was warm and the sky was clear and blue. After school, Malik planned to meet his friends at the park. He liked the park because it was a place where children played and he could relax under the big trees. As he walked to the park, he enjoyed the fresh air and the sounds of birds singing. He smiled as he thought about the fun he would have playing basketball with his friends. When Malik arrived at the park, he saw many children running and laughing. Some were playing on the swings, others were chasing each other or kicking a ball. The park was full of life and happiness. Malik walked along the path toward the basketball court. On the way, he passed by a wooden bench near the edge of the park. On the bench, something shiny caught his eye. It was a beautiful watch left there by someone. The watch was golden and looked expensive. Malik knew that someone might have forgotten it. Malik stopped for a moment to look at the watch. He thought that maybe he should take it to the lost and found or find the owner. But before he could decide, he heard loud voices behind him. Turning around, Malik saw Jake and Ryan standing near the park entrance. They were looking at him with strange smiles. Malik felt a little nervous. He had seen them before, and he knew they could cause trouble. Jake walked closer and shouted, "Hey, look, it's the boy who took the watch." Ryan laughed and added, "Yeah, I saw him grab it and hide it." Malik was shocked. He could not believe what they were saying. He did not take the watch, and he did not even touch it. But Jake and Ryan were shouting so loudly that some children nearby stopped to listen. Malik tried to explain, "No, I didn't take the watch. It's not mine. It's not mine. I was just looking at it." But Jake interrupted, "Don't lie. We saw you." "You think you can just steal and get away with it?" Ryan nodded, looking angry. Some children began to whisper and stare at Malik. The crowd around them started to grow. Malik felt his heart beating faster, looked around hoping someone would help him, wished his friends were there to support him. For now it was only Jake, Ryan, and the watching crowd. The children around were confused. Some looked unsure whom to believe. Others began to doubt Malik because Jake and Ryan were older and louder. The owner of the watch was nearby too. A man in his late 40s had come to the park with his daughter. When he heard the shouting, he came closer to see what was going on. Jake quickly told the man, "This boy took your watch." "Ah!" The man looked at Malik carefully. He did not see Malik take anything, but he saw the boys accusing him. The man was not sure what to think. Malik said quietly, "Please, I didn't take it. You can check the bench." The watch was just there, but the man looked uncertain. "I don't know," he said. "My watch is missing, and I need to find it." The man called the park guard and told him about the missing watch. The guard came quickly and saw the crowd. Jake and Ryan spoke loudly to the guard, pointing at Malik. "We saw him near the watch before it disappeared," Jake said. The guard looked. "Serious?" and asked Malik. "Did you take this watch?" Malik shook his head. "I swear I didn't. I was only looking at it." The guard said, "I need to check carefully. Please wait here." Malik was separated from the crowd and asked to stay close to the guard. He felt scared and alone. He looked around and saw many faces watching him. Some children looked worried. Others looked curious. Malik wished things were different. He wished Jake and Ryan would stop lying. As Malik waited, Jake and Ryan smiled to each other. They thought they had one. They liked to see Malik in trouble, but they did not know what was about to happen. Malik stayed calm and hoped the truth would come out soon. He knew he was innocent, and that gave him some strength. Some of the children around whispered quietly, "Why would Malik take the watch?" "He doesn't seem like that kind of boy," others said. "Maybe Jake and Ryan are just trying to get Malik in trouble again." A few adults in the park started to watch more carefully. Malik's mother was not far. away. She had been walking with her younger son, waiting for Malik to finish school. When she heard about the situation, she rushed to the park. Seeing Malik standing with the guard, she felt worried but stayed calm. She walked up to Malik and held his hand. "Everything will be okay," she whispered softly. Malik smiled weakly at his mother. He was glad she was there. He looked at Jake and Ryan again. They were still laughing quietly between themselves, proud of their false accusation. Malik wished they could understand how much harm they were causing. The park guard started asking questions to the people nearby. He wanted to find out if anyone saw the watch being taken. The crowd waited silently. Malik kept hoping that someone would find the watch soon. He wanted to prove he was not guilty. Time passed slowly. The sun began to move lower in the sky and shadows grew longer. Malik looked around the park again. Trees were still green and the birds kept singing, but the happy mood was gone. The children were no longer playing as before. Instead, they watched nervously, waiting for the truth. Malik thought about his friends. He hoped they would come soon. He wanted to tell them what was happening. He wished the bullies would stop hurting him. But he knew he had to stay strong and wait. Meanwhile, Jake and Ryan were talking quietly near the park entrance. "We got him good," Jake said. "He won't forget this." Ryan nodded. "Yeah, no one will believe him now." They smiled, feeling powerful. They did not care about the pain they were causing. But soon, everything was about to change. A little discovery was coming that would turn the whole story around. But for now, Malik stood there, calm but worried, waiting for what would happen next. After Malik was separated from the crowd and asked to wait by the park guard, the atmosphere around the park changed. The people who had gathered began to talk quietly among themselves. Some believed Jake and Ryan's story because they were older and spoke loudly. Others were not sure what to think and watched Malik with uncertain eyes. Malik stood still, feeling the weight of all the attention on him. He kept telling himself to stay calm and hope for the truth to come out soon. Jake and Ryan, on the other hand, were feeling proud. They thought they had fooled everyone. They stood near the park entrance, whispering and laughing quietly. "We got him good this time," Jake said with a smile. Ryan nodded and said, "Yeah, nobody will believe him now. He's in big trouble." They didn't care that what they did was wrong. To them, it was just another way to bully Malik and show their power. The man who owned the watch was standing with the park guard. He looked worried but still did not know what to think. He wanted his watch back, and he wanted to know who took it. The man asked the guard, "Are you sure this boy took it?" The guard replied, "I don't know yet. I'm still trying to find out. We have to wait and see." The man nodded but looked unsure. Malik's mother stayed close to him. She held his hand tightly and whispered, "I believe you, Malik. Just be patient. The truth will come out." Malik smiled softly at his mother. Her words gave him some comfort. Even though he felt scared, he knew his family trusted him, and that was important. Some of the children who had been watching started to speak up quietly. One girl said, "I don't think Malik took the watch. He's always been kind and honest." Another boy nodded. "Yeah, Jake and Ryan just like to cause trouble. I don't trust them." These small voices gave Malik hope that not everyone was against him. As the minutes passed, the park guard asked some of the people nearby if they had seen anything unusual. A few said they had seen the watch on the bench, but did not see anyone take it. One man said, "I was walking my dog, and I saw the watch on the bench about 10 minutes ago. I didn't see anyone near it." The guard wrote down the statements. Trying to figure out what had happened, Malik stayed quiet and watched everything carefully. He wanted to tell his side of the story again, but the guard told him to wait. Malik understood that he needed to be patient. While this was happening, a little girl named Emma was playing with her ball near the bushes, a short distance from the bench where the watch had been. Emma was about 6 years old, and she loved to explore the park. She kicked her ball into the bushes and ran to get it. As she reached into the bushes, she noticed something shiny. It was the golden watch. Emma picked up the watch carefully. It was clean and looked perfect. She smiled, thinking someone must have dropped it there by mistake. Emma knew the watch belonged to someone, and she wanted to help find the owner. Ran toward the group of people gathered at the park, holding the watch tightly in her hand. When Emma reached the crowd, she called out loudly, "Look what I found! The watch is here in the bushes." People turned around to see what she was holding. The man who owned the watch saw it and rushed forward. His eyes widened with surprise and relief. "That's my watch," he said happily. "Thank you so much for finding it." The man carefully took the watch from Emma and looked at it closely. It was exactly the same watch he thought was lost. The park guard looked at Malik and then at Jake and Ryan. He said, "This changes everything." The watch was never taken by Malik. It was just misplaced. The crowd started murmuring, and the mood shifted from suspicion to surprise. Jake and Ryan's faces changed. They looked shocked and worried. Their plan had failed. They had lied and falsely accused Malik, but now everyone knew the truth. Jake said quietly, "We didn't mean to lie. We just thought Malik took it." Ryan looked down, feeling ashamed. The man who owned the watch turned to Malik and said, "I am sorry for doubting you. Thank you for being honest." Malik smiled, feeling a weight lifted from his chest. He said, "Thank you for believing me." The guard said, "We will make sure that nothing like this happens again." The children who had doubted Malik before now looked at him with respect. Some even apologized quietly for not trusting him at first. Malik's friends arrived and hugged him, happy to see that he was okay. Jake and Ryan had to face the adults in the community for their actions. Their parents were called, and the school principal spoke to them about the harm caused by lying and bullying. Jake and Ryan felt regret and promised to be better. Malik, despite everything, chose to forgive. He understood that people make mistakes, but can learn from them. He wanted to show kindness even to those who hurt him. His bravery and honesty became an example to others in the town. The whole community learned an important lesson that day. They saw how quickly false accusations can cause pain and harm. They also saw how important it was to listen, to seek the truth, and to stand against bullying. Malik's story helped bring the community closer and made it stronger after the incident. The town started new programs to teach children about respect and fairness. Schools talked about kindness, and adults worked together to make sure everyone felt safe. Malik felt proud to be part of a community that cared about justice and honesty. The day that started with fear and sadness ended with hope and healing. Malik walked home with his mother, holding her hand tightly. They talked about how important it was to be truthful and brave. Malik smiled, knowing he had faced a hard challenge and come through stronger. After the watch was found in the bushes by little Emma, everything at the park changed quickly. The crowd that had gathered grew quiet as the truth became clear. Malik stood nearby, feeling a mixture of relief and hope. His heart was still pounding from the earlier accusations, but now he could finally breathe a little easier. The man who owned the watch smiled warmly at Malik and said, "I am very sorry for accusing you. Thank you for being honest and patient." Malik nodded and replied, "Thank you for believing me. I never took the watch." The man reached out and gave Malik a kind pat on the shoulder. This simple act made Malik feel respected and valued. Jake and Ryan, the two boys who had falsely accused Malik, looked down at their feet. Their faces were red with shame. The crowd's mood had shifted from anger to disappointment in the two bullies. The children who had watched earlier now whispered among themselves. Realizing how wrong the accusations were, a teacher from the nearby school, Mrs. Collins, who had been walking through the park, stepped forward. She looked at Jake and Ryan firmly and said, "It is not right to accuse someone without proof. You hurt Malik's feelings and caused a lot of trouble. You must understand that lying can hurt others deeply." Jake and Ryan nodded silently, understanding they had made a big mistake. Malik felt a little nervous but took a deep breath and decided to speak. "I don't want to be angry," he said quietly, but clearly. "I want us all to be friends and to treat each other kindly. It is not fair to blame someone just because you don't like them." The crowd listened carefully, and some children nodded in agreement. One of Malik's friends, Jamal, stepped up and said, "Malik is one of the nicest boys I know. We should always trust each other and stop bullying." His words brought smiles for many in the crowd. Even some adults looked moved by Malik's courage and kindness. The park guard then spoke to everyone. "This is a good lesson for all of us. Before we judge someone, we must check the facts. We must be fair and respectful." The crowd clapped softly, agreeing with the guard's words. The man who owned the watch thanked Emma. The little girl who found it. He gave her a small gift as a way of saying thank you for her honesty and quick thinking. Emma's face lit up with happiness. She was proud to have helped. Later that day, the principal of Malek's school called a meeting with Jake and Ryan and their parents. The meeting was serious but calm. The principal explained how their false accusation had hurt Malek and the whole school community. Jake and Ryan's parents were upset but understood the importance of teaching their sons to be truthful and kind. Jake and Ryan promised to apologize to Malek and to work on being better friends. They said they would stop bullying and try to make things right. Malek accepted their apologies, showing a big heart and forgiveness. He knew that holding on to anger would only make things worse. The next day at school, Malek's classmates talked about the incident. Many of them said they were sorry for doubting him. Some even stood up to Jake and Ryan to say that bullying was not okay. Teachers used the situation to teach the children about respect, honesty, and kindness. Malek's confidence grew. He felt stronger because he had faced a difficult situation and stayed true to himself. He learned that being honest and patient could help him overcome even the hardest problems. In the weeks that followed, Jake and Ryan made an effort to change. They joined a friendship group at school that helped children learn how to work together and support one another. They took part in activities that encouraged kindness and teamwork. Malek and Jake slowly started to talk more. It was not easy at first, but they found moments to share jokes and help each other. Malik knew that people can change if they want to, and he wanted to believe in second chances. The community also began to notice the positive change. Parents and teachers worked together to create programs that taught children about bullying and how to stop it. They wanted to make the town a safe and happy place for everyone. Malik became a symbol of courage in his town. His story was shared at school meetings and community events. People admired his strength and kindness, especially how he forgave those who hurt him. One afternoon, Malek's mother told him, "You have done something very special. You showed everyone how important it is to be honest and kind, even when things are hard." Malek smiled and said, "I just wanted to be fair and show that everyone deserves respect." Malek continued to enjoy playing at the park, now feeling safe and happy. Children who had once been quiet around him now came to play and talk. The bullying stopped and friendships grew stronger. The watch incident taught everyone a valuable lesson. It showed how quickly false accusations can hurt a person and a community. But it also showed the power of truth, forgiveness, and hope. Malek learned that no matter what challenges come his way, he could face them with courage and honesty. He knew that kindness could change hearts and bring people together. The town became a better place because of Malek's bravery and the community's willingness to learn and grow. Children and adults alike promised to always stand up for what is right and to treat others with respect. And so, life in the town moved forward. With new hope and friendship, Malek's story remained a shining example of how truth and kindness can overcome fear and misunderstanding. After the incident with the watch was cleared up, Jake and Ryan faced the reality of their actions. Their parents and teachers were very disappointed in them. They had lied and caused a lot of pain, not only to Malek, but also to many others in the community. The boys knew they had done wrong, and they felt sorry deep inside. They did not want to be known as bullies or troublemakers anymore. They wanted to change and make things right. The principal of the school sat down with Jake and Ryan and talked to them seriously. She said it is important to be honest and kind to others. When you lie and hurt someone, it breaks trust. It can take a long time to fix. Jake and Ryan listened carefully. They nodded and promised to work hard on becoming better people. They wanted to learn how to be good friends and respectful classmates. One of the ways the school helped was by creating a new program called Friendship and Respect. This program taught children how to understand each other, solve problems peacefully, and stand up against bullying. Jake and Ryan joined this group. At first, it was hard for them because they had to admit their mistakes and listen to others. But slowly, they began to feel the importance of kindness. Malik watched these changes with hope in his heart. He saw that even people who make mistakes can grow and improve. He believed in second chances because he had experienced kindness from others himself. Malik started to talk with Jake and Ryan more. First, they kept some distance, but over time, they found ways to connect. They shared small conversations during lunch and helped each other with schoolwork. The other children in the school noticed the difference too. They saw that Jake and Ryan were trying to be better. Some even reached out to them with kindness. The school became a friendlier place where children felt safer. Teachers praised the students for their efforts and encouraged them to support one another. Malik's family was proud of him. His mother often told him how brave he was for forgiving Jake and Ryan. She said, "You showed great strength and kindness. That will take you far in life." Malik smiled and said, "I just want everyone to feel happy and safe at school. We all deserve that." At home, Malik continued to enjoy his hobbies. He loved reading books about heroes and adventures. He dreamed of becoming someone who helps others, like a teacher or a doctor. The watch incident taught him that being honest and standing up for what is right were important qualities for a hero. The town's community leaders also took the incident seriously. They organized meetings with parents, teachers, and children to talk about bullying and respect. Everyone agreed that it was important to create a place where everyone could live and learn without fear. At one community meeting, Malik spoke softly, but clearly. He said, "We should always be kind and listen to each other. When we work together, we can make our town better. No one should be scared or hurt because of lies or bullying." The room was quiet, and many people nodded in agreement. Malik's words touched the hearts of many. The children in the town started to look out for one another more. If they saw someone being bullied or treated unfairly, they would step in or tell a trusted adult. This made the park and the schools safer places for everyone. Malik felt proud that he could be part of this change. Jake and Ryan worked hard to show they were sorry. They helped clean up the park, picked up trash, and joined games with other children. They learned to be patient and to think before speaking. Sometimes they still made mistakes, but they were trying to be better every day. Malik and his friends started a club called Friends for Respect. They invited all the children in the neighborhood to join. The club met once a week to play games, talk about feelings, and learn about kindness. The club became very popular, and many children wanted to be part of it. One day, during a club meeting, Malik shared a story about the watch incident. He talked about how it felt to be wrongly accused and how important it was to forgive and be honest. The children listened carefully. Many of them said they had also experienced unfair treatment and wanted to help stop bullying. The clubs, teachers, and parents were proud of Malik and his friends. They saw how the children were learning valuable lessons about respect, friendship, and courage. The town began to feel more united and peaceful. Malik's courage inspired not only children, but adults too. The local newspaper wrote a story about Malik and how he handled a difficult situation with kindness. The article encouraged people to be fair and to support each other. Malik felt shy about the attention, but was happy if it helped others. With time, Malik, Jake, and Ryan grew closer. They were not best friends yet, but they had respect for each other. Malik knew that trust takes time to build, and he was willing to give it a chance. He hoped that one day they could all be good friends. Malik's story showed everyone that mistakes do not have to define a person. What matters is how they learn and change. It also reminded people to be careful with their words and actions. Because they can hurt or heal, the watch incident became a turning point in Malik's life and in the community. It brought lessons of honesty, forgiveness, and kindness. Malik felt grateful for the support he received and proud of the difference he helped make. As the seasons changed, Malik continued to enjoy life with hope. He played with his friends in the park, studied hard, and dreamed big. He knew challenges would come, but he was ready to face them with courage and a kind heart. The town, once shaken by a moment of unfairness, grew stronger because of the love and understanding shared by its people. Malik's story lived on as a reminder that even in difficult times, goodness can shine through. Life in the small town slowly began to heal after the incident with Malik and the watch. The community had learned many important lessons about fairness, kindness, and standing up for one another. Malik, now more confident and happy, enjoyed the days when he could play outside with his friends and feel safe. He knew the pain of being wrongly accused, but he also knew that courage and truth could help him overcome difficult times. Malik's friendship with Jake and Ryan was not perfect, but it was better. The three boys had begun to understand each other more. Jake and Ryan had learned to be honest and kind. They were no longer the bullies they once were. They wanted to show everyone that people can change when they try. Malik saw this and chose to believe in their good intentions. At school, the teachers worked hard to make the classrooms welcoming and respectful. They taught children about empathy, how to understand and care for the feelings of others. Malik enjoyed these lessons because they helped him see the importance of kindness in everyday life. His classmates became more thoughtful, and many stopped any teasing or mean behavior. Malik also joined a group at school that helped children speak up against bullying. He felt proud to be part of this group because he wanted to help others avoid the pain he had felt. Malik would tell his story to younger students, explaining how important it was to always tell the truth and to stand up for friends. One day, Malik's mother took him to the community center. There was a special event called Friends and Neighbors. The event was full of games, music, and food. People from all over the town came to celebrate friendship and unity. Malik felt happy to be surrounded by people who cared about each other during the event.
Malik was invited to share his story.
He stood in front of a crowd of parents, children, and teachers. His voice was steady as he spoke about the day the watch was lost and how he was wrongly accused. He talked about how forgiveness and understanding helped heal the hurt. Many people listened carefully and clapped when Malik finished. Some parents came up to him and said they were proud of his courage. Malik felt shy but grateful. He knew that sharing his story could help others be more kind and fair. The town's leaders decided to make the Friends and Neighbors event a yearly tradition. It reminded everyone of the importance of community and respect. Malik's story was part of this tradition, inspiring children and adults alike to be better friends and neighbors. Jake and Ryan also took part in the event. They helped set up games and made sure everyone had fun. When it was their turn to speak, they apologized again to Malik and promised to continue being kind. Their words were honest, and many people saw that they truly wanted to change. Malik and his family felt more connected to their community than ever before. They knew that living in a place where people care for each other made life better. Malik dreamed of a future where no child would be unfairly judged or bullied. As the years passed, Malik grew into a kind and confident young man. He never forgot the lessons he learned from the watch incident. He continued to stand up for justice and to help others who faced unfair treatment. Malik's story became well known in the town, not because of the trouble he faced, but because of the strength and kindness he showed. He often visited schools and community centers to talk about respect and honesty. Children looked up to him as a role model. Malik told them that everyone makes mistakes, but that it is how we learn from them that matters most. Jake and Ryan also grew. They worked hard to make amends and to be positive members of the community. They and Malik sometimes met to share stories and support each other. Their friendship was a symbol of how people could change and forgive. The town itself changed too. People became more careful about judging others. They learned to listen first and to be fair. Schools held workshops about kindness and bullying prevention. Parents talked to their children about respect and honesty at home. Malik's family was proud of how far he had come. They knew that his kindness and courage made a difference not only in his life, but in the lives of many others. Malik often thought about how one small event had changed so much. The watch that was lost and then found became a symbol of truth and justice. It reminded everyone that jumping to conclusions and blaming others without proof could cause harm. But it also reminded them that forgiveness and understanding could heal wounds and bring people together. One quiet evening, Malik sat with his mother on their porch. They watched the stars twinkle in the dark sky. Malik smiled and said, "I'm glad I stayed honest and kind, even when things were hard." His mother hugged him and said, "You have a brave heart, Malik, that will carry you far in life." Malik felt ready for whatever came next. He knew life would have challenges, but he also knew he had the strength to face them. With truth, kindness, and forgiveness, Malik believed that anything was possible. And so, Malik's story ended not with sadness or anger, but with hope and love. A story of how a small boy's courage and heart changed a community for the better. A story that would be told for many years as a shining example of what it means to be fair, honest, and kind.